Imagine discovering, at 66 years old, that everything you thought you knew about one of Hollywood's biggest stars was just the tip of the iceberg. Sharon Stone finally breaks her silence and reveals secrets that will shock even her most loyal fans. What she confirms now will leave you speechless. Sharon Stone, Hollywood's eternal muse, known for her charm, talent, and magnetic screen presence, has never been just an actress. Over the decades, her personal life has been surrounded by rumors, controversies, and scandals that the media has always tried to decode. From her turbulent relationships with famous figures to the whispers of secret romances that have circulated for years, Sharon has always been an enigma, a woman who refuses to reveal everything, until now. At 66, the actress finally confirms rumors that have haunted tabloids and fans alike. Matters of love, personal choices, and unexpected alliances that no one could have imagined. But what really grabs attention are not just the details of her love life, but also her statements about multi-million-dollar financial losses, conflicts with major brands, and moments when her health almost took her away from fame forever. The combination of glamour, controversy, and survival has turned Sharon Stone into more than an iconic actress. She has become a living legend, someone who has faced betrayal, controversy, and the relentless gaze of the media without losing her class or strength. In this video, we will explore every detail of this surprising chapter in Sharon Stone's life, revealing secrets that even the boldest tabloids hadn't confirmed. And attention, you need to watch until the end, because the final revelation will truly shock you and change the way you see this star. Before we continue, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell. This is important because it helps YouTube understand that you want to see more videos like this, ensuring our channel keeps growing and bringing more exclusive revelations. If you can, support the channel even further with a super thanks. Your contribution makes all the difference in keeping high-quality content coming. But if that's not possible, just leave a comment about what surprised you the most so far. We really want to know your opinion. Sharon Von Stone was born on March 10, 1958, in the small town of Meadville, Pennsylvania, United States, in a humble environment far from the glamour that would later define her life. The daughter of Joseph Stone, a factory worker, and Dorothy Stone, a homemaker, Sharon grew up in a working-class family that valued discipline, hard work, and education. From a very early age, she stood out for her above-average intelligence, something that often made her feel different from other children. With an exceptionally high IQ, Sharon faced difficulties in socializing, often being the target of bullying at school, which contributed to a childhood marked by both intellectual curiosity and emotional solitude. Even at a young age, she showed a strong interest in reading, arts, and culture, spending long hours immersed in books and reflections beyond her years. At 15, she enrolled at Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania, where she studied creative writing and fine arts, an experience that shaped her critical view of the world and her artistic sensitivity, even before seriously dreaming of a career in entertainment. Alongside her studies, Sharon began working as a model, participating in local beauty contests, and in 1975, she won the title of Miss Crawford County. This opened doors to larger competitions and awakened in her an awareness of the power of her image, although she always made it clear that she did not want to be seen merely for her appearance. Sharon's youth was also marked by painful personal experiences that she only found the courage to make public many years later, including accounts of abuse and traumatic situations that deeply affected her self-esteem and future relationships. These experiences, however, contributed to the development of a resilient, straightforward, and often controversial personality, which would later become one of her trademarks. After graduating from university, Sharon decided to leave Pennsylvania and move to New York, determined to pursue greater opportunities as a professional model, signing with a renowned agency and beginning to travel internationally. This move represented a definitive break from the quiet life of Meadville and the beginning of a journey of self-discovery, independence, and confronting a competitive and demanding market. Despite the initial challenges, she maintained a firm belief that she could go beyond the runways, silently nurturing the dream of acting, driven by the desire to tell stories, express complex emotions, and prove that her intelligence and depth went far beyond the stereotypes imposed on young models. These early years, marked by contrasts between brilliance and vulnerability, simplicity and ambition, laid the emotional and intellectual foundation for Sharon Stone, preparing her for the intense challenges that would follow in her personal life and career, and largely explaining the strength, frankness, and intensity that would later captivate and shock the world. Sharon Stone's love life, motherhood, and personal transformations form one of the most human, intense, and revealing chapters of her journey, showcasing a woman who had to learn, often painfully, to reinvent herself away from the cold and seductive image that Hollywood had built. Over the decades, Sharon experienced romances with artists, producers, and influential figures in the entertainment industry, relationships that always sparked media curiosity but rarely provided her with lasting emotional stability. Her most well-known marriage was to journalist and editor Phil Bronstein, which began in 1998, at a time when she was seeking emotional security after years of intense exposure and superficial relationships. Although the relationship started with great intimacy, it was deeply affected by an event that would change her life forever. The hemorrhagic stroke Sharon suffered in 2001, which left her fighting for her life and required a long process of physical and emotional rehabilitation. During this period, she reported feeling vulnerable, dependent, and, at many moments, invisible, which ultimately contributed to the strain on the marriage and their divorce a few years later. Before and after this union, Sharon also spoke openly about pregnancy losses and miscarriages, experiences that deeply marked her and led her to reconsider her relationship with her body, femininity, and the traditional concept of motherhood. Unable to carry a pregnancy to term, she found new meaning in adoption and became the mother of 3 boys, Roan, Laird, and Quinn, embracing solo motherhood as a conscious and transformative choice. Sharon has always described her children as the greatest project of her life, stating that being a mother taught her to love without expectations, to let go of control, and to redefine what success truly means. Motherhood also softened her relationship with fame, making her more selective in her work and more protective of her private life. At the same time, her personal transformations were profound and ongoing. After the stroke, Sharon revealed that she lost not only part of her memory and physical stamina but also a large portion of her fortune, friendships, and her place in Hollywood, forcing her to rebuild her identity almost from scratch. This process led her to a spiritual journey, drawing closer to Tibetan Buddhism and self-awareness practices that helped her confront the fear of death, aging, and loneliness. Over the years, Sharon has spoken more openly about sexuality, aging in an industry obsessed with youth, and the freedom of no longer needing to meet others' expectations. In her 60s, she publicly admitted that she prefers lighter, honest relationships without power games, stating that she no longer has patience for bonds based on status or appearance. This more mature phase also brought a Sharon who is more humorous, authentic, and self-assured, facing rumors and speculation with irony and serenity, making it clear that her greatest love story today is with herself and her children. The sum of these experiences has shaped a woman who learned to transform pain into strength, losses into lessons, and who found in motherhood, spirituality, and self-acceptance a way to be reborn, proving that her true evolution did not happen only in front of the cameras but mainly behind the scenes of her own life. The controversial and often polarizing life of Sharon Stone, especially surrounding the rumors confirmed at age 66-67, is a fascinating and human chapter that shows how a legendary Hollywood actress continues to live fully in the spotlight, while also being scrutinized under the microscope of public opinion. In recent years, Stone has been remarkably candid about her personal life and her dating experiences, something that frequently fuels debates on social media and talk shows. One of the most talked about moments recently was when she confirmed on the talk show Watch What Happens Live that she actually went on a date with rapper Nelly, who is about 17 years her junior. Stone not only confirmed that the date happened but also made it clear that there was no second date. Yet public curiosity continued to spark speculation about her love life and relationship choices, even at nearly 67 years old. This revelation went viral because it combines two elements that the public loves: a veteran Hollywood star and an unexpected name from the music world, showing that Stone is open to new and unexpected experiences and does not adhere to traditional formulas of fame or age. Beyond this confirmation that created a stir, Sharon has also spoken openly about her experiences with dating apps, portraying a very real and even vulnerable side of her personal life that many fans would not imagine, including dates that didn't work out or strange situations she encountered on apps, which humanizes her image even more. This honesty about her search for connection, even as an iconic figure, breaks stereotypes and shows that the actress approaches love and romance like anyone else. Throughout her career, Stone has also been connected to controversies beyond her romantic life. Over the years, she has talked about how her public fight and activism against AIDS initially destroyed her career, leaving her without work for many years in the 1990s because Hollywood wasn't ready to embrace the cause, something she has admitted openly in interviews. This controversy often resurfaces in discussions about activism and career because it highlights the tension between supporting important causes and the commercial expectations of the entertainment industry. Another topic that has resurfaced in recent years is the discussion of sexism and challenges she faced in Hollywood, including reports of differential treatment behind the scenes and even suspicions that her career may have been sabotaged after major achievements, such as her Oscar nomination. Although not all of these claims are formally confirmed, they frequently circulate in reports and interviews, fueling debate about the obstacles powerful women face in the entertainment world. Additionally, in terms of everyday life controversies, Sharon recently shared on social media a black eye while on vacation in Europe, sparking speculation and playful comments from fans, with the actress herself joking about her resilience. This type of personal exposure, which could be seen as trivial, humanizes the star and reminds the public that despite fame, she experiences challenges common to anyone. Overall, this mix of candid revelations about past dates, statements about aging, activism that impacted her career, and the way she navigates modern life and relationships shows that the rumors confirmed at 66-67 are not empty scandals, but parts of a genuine narrative of a woman who remains curious, open, and authentic, facing both admiration and public criticism with the same relaxed honesty. Sharon Stone's story regarding her health, the stroke she suffered, and the profound consequences it had on her life and career is a narrative of pain, resilience, and reinvention that spans decades and reveals much of the inner strength the actress has developed over the years. In 2001, at the height of her career as one of Hollywood's biggest stars thanks to films like Basic Instinct and Casino, Stone suffered an extremely severe stroke caused by a brain hemorrhage that lasted 9 days, practically pushing her brain forward and significantly altering basic and sensory functions such as vision, smell, and even the ability to read. She herself described being unable to read for about 2 years after the episode and experiencing distorted visual perception for a long period. The experience was so critical that doctors initially doubted her condition, and it was only after a second examination that the brain hemorrhage was identified, saving her life but marking the beginning of a long and difficult recovery journey. This recovery was not only physical but also emotional and professional. Sharon had to completely step away from cinema for about 7 years, a time when her health required full focus and her abilities were slowly rebuilt. During this period, unfortunately, she became a victim of people who took advantage of her vulnerability, especially because many believed she would not survive the stroke. When she finally regained access to her finances, she discovered that the $18 million she had saved over her career had vanished. Her bank account was empty, and even personal items like her refrigerator and phone were registered under other people's names. In her own words, she looked at her statements and realized she had zero money, a brutal shock that placed her in an extremely difficult financial and emotional situation. Beyond the financial losses, the recovery brought lasting health challenges. Even decades later, Stone mentioned that she still feels pain in the damaged area of her brain and faces sensory issues resulting from the brain injury. These physical impacts forced her to relearn movements, overcome speech difficulties, and adjust her daily life to limitations that, although invisible to others, are significant to her. Meanwhile, her film career never fully regained the status it had before the stroke. Although she continued to work in movies, TV series, and various appearances, the offers for roles of the caliber she had in the 1990s decreased, often leading her to supporting roles or smaller opportunities within the industry. But what truly defines this chapter of Sharon's life is not just the tragedy or material losses. It is the way she chose to face the challenges and transform pain into purpose. In interviews, Stone openly talks about not clinging to resentment or bitterness, instead choosing to live for joy and a sense of purpose, a philosophy that helped her overcome the feeling of being forgotten by the world after her health crisis. This perspective does not minimize the suffering she endured, but shows how her personal resilience and ability to redefine priorities, including focusing on how her experience can inspire others, became central to the narrative of her life after the stroke. In short, the period of fragile health, the stroke, and the resulting financial and professional consequences form one of the most challenging and human chapters of Sharon Stone's life, revealing not just a movie star, but a woman who underwent profound transformation and continues to seek meaning even in the face of adversity. Over decades in the spotlight, Sharon Stone has built a public image defined by both glamour and controversy, and it is precisely this combination that keeps her name constantly in the news when it comes to scandals, estimated fortune, advertising partnerships, and TV contracts. Known for her unusual frankness in Hollywood, Sharon has never been afraid to speak her mind, even when it cost her financially. One of the most talked about episodes occurred in the late 2000s, when her comments about a natural disaster in China were perceived as insensitive by the local audience, leading to the immediate loss of multimillion-dollar advertising contracts in the Asian market, particularly with luxury brands that relied heavily on public image and popular acceptance. This moment marked a turning point, showing that despite her status as a global star, Sharon was also subject to the harsh consequences of international public opinion, something she later acknowledged as a lesson in responsibility and communication during times of full exposure. Alongside these controversies, another point that drew significant attention was when the actress openly revealed that, after suffering a severe stroke in 2001, she lost a large portion of her fortune, estimated at the time at around $18 million, due to financial mismanagement and broken trust with close associates, a rare confession in an industry where celebrities tend to hide financial setbacks. This revelation further humanized her image, showing that behind the sensual icon of Basic Instinct was a vulnerable woman forced to rebuild her career and life practically from scratch. Over the years, Sharon managed to regain financial stability, and today her estimated fortune is in the tens of millions of dollars, stemming not only from film and television roles but also from smart contracts, special appearances, image rights, and carefully selected advertising work. In the realm of advertising partnerships, Sharon Stone has always been associated with luxury, elegance, and sophistication, serving as the face of fashion, perfume, and jewelry brands seeking to convey maturity, female power, and exclusivity. Even after turning 60, she continues to be in demand precisely because she represents timeless beauty and a strong life story, qualities highly valued by brands aiming to stand out from the typical youthful focus in advertising. Regarding TV contracts, Sharon has also managed to reinvent herself, participating in successful series, special productions, and projects that ensured constant visibility and ongoing income, as well as one-off contracts with major networks and streaming platforms, where her name instantly adds prestige to the cast. Many of these appearances were accompanied by public debates, whether due to bold scenes or statements made during promotional interviews, reinforcing her reputation as an authentic woman who does not easily conform to industry expectations. At 66, when Sharon Stone finally confirmed some long-circulated rumors about her personal life and intimate choices, the public reaction was more curious than scandalized, reflecting a cultural shift and the respect earned by someone who has always lived by her own rules. Overall, her controversies, far from destroying her career, ultimately strengthened her personal brand, turning Sharon Stone into a symbol of independence, courage, and reinvention. Someone who lost much, rebuilt her fortune, renegotiated her space in advertising and television, and proved that in Hollywood, longevity can also be synonymous with power. Sharon Stone has a luxurious lifestyle that reflects both the glamour associated with her long Hollywood career and the complexity of a woman who has always sought personal meaning beyond the cameras, and it is fascinating to consider how she navigates wealth, relationships, art, and her personal routine in a friendly and human way. Even with a fortune estimated in the tens of millions of dollars, she has admitted with humor and candor that being famous is very expensive, highlighting that when she goes out to dinner with friends, even groups of up to 15 people, she often ends up paying bills of around $3,000, because she enjoys bringing together the people she loves and sees it as a gesture of generosity, even though it impacts her budget and makes her consider selling her large house in the future to maintain a more sustainable lifestyle once her children leave home. Stone's home has always been more than just a place to live. It is a space where she expresses her refined taste and love for the arts. Over the years, she has collected valuable works of art and owned pieces by renowned artists such as Basquiat and Egon Schiele, which reflect not only financial investment but also a keen artistic eye that has accompanied her since her modeling days and early acting career, so much so that she herself has expressed that she preferred to invest her money in art rather than simply save it. Moreover, Sharon discovered a late but deeply personal passion for painting. During the pandemic and the following years, she dedicated herself to creating her own abstract works, exhibiting them in galleries and exploring colors with an intensity that reflects her connection to deep emotions and life experiences, stating that painting gives her immense purpose and pleasure. This artistic facet also appears in her more intimate routine. She treats her canvases almost like companions, even speaking to them while she works, a practice that demonstrates how her creative process is intimate and almost meditative. In the fashion field, Sharon has always had a sense of style that combines classic elegance with personal daring. She has collaborated with designers like Antonio Maras, sharing an aesthetic inspired by nature and artisanal beauty, and her presence in campaigns and fashion events reinforces her image as a symbol of timeless elegance and authenticity, a woman who values clothing and accessories that express her identity and life experiences. Despite all this luxury and visibility, Stone has always maintained an honest relationship with her own contradictions. She speaks openly about the emotional and financial costs of her fame, about dealing with the loss of millions due to past legal and administrative issues, and how this reshaped her relationship with money and the meaning of wealth. Outside the intense Hollywood spotlight, her lifestyle includes a wellness routine, from mindful eating and physical exercise to a positive approach to aging, inspiring many fans to view longevity and health naturally. Ultimately, Sharon Stone's luxurious lifestyle is less about ostentation and more about conscious choices. It encompasses travel, memorable dinners, art, fashion, and quality time with loved ones, all seasoned with a courageous authenticity that reflects not only the career of a star but the personal journey of a woman who has always sought to live fully in all her passions. Sharon Stone's artistic legacy goes far beyond the visual impact and dramatic strength she brought to iconic film characters. It is built on a rare combination of creative courage, personal reinvention, and an artistic sensitivity that resonates directly with music and other forms of cultural expression. Although the general public primarily recognizes her as one of Hollywood's most memorable actresses of the 1990s and 2000s, Sharon has always seen art as a broad field, where acting, music, emotion, and social message walk hand in hand. Her passion for music, for example, did not emerge as a commercial endeavor but as a natural extension of her need to express herself and connect with people on a deeper level. Over the years, she has shown a profound appreciation for classical music, jazz, and songs with strong emotional weight, frequently citing artists who use music as a tool for transformation and healing, something that resonates directly with her own journey of overcoming health challenges and personal losses. Sharon actively participated in charitable musical projects, the most well-known example being the co-writing of the song, Come Together Now, created to raise funds for the victims of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, a gesture that revealed her commitment to using her artistic visibility for humanitarian causes and solidified music as an essential part of her legacy. More than simply singing or composing occasionally, She has always advocated for music as a universal language capable of transcending cultural, social, and emotional boundaries, something also reflected in the way she chooses her film roles, often portraying complex, intense, and emotionally deep women. Her artistic legacy is also strongly linked to how she helped redefine the image of the mature woman in Hollywood, refusing to fade away with age and continuing to engage in projects that value experience, intelligence, and authenticity, values very present in the music she appreciates and promotes. Sharon Stone has thus become a reference for artistic longevity, showing that a passion for art does not need to be limited to a single discipline and that a true legacy is born when an artist remains faithful to their creative essence. By combining cinema, music, and social engagement, she has built a path that inspires not only fans but also new generations of artists to see their careers as a journey of holistic expression, where success, sensitivity, and purpose can coexist harmoniously. The conclusion about Sharon Stone's journey reveals a life story marked by resilience, courage, and a capacity for reinvention that inspires admirers around the world. From her childhood in Meadville, Pennsylvania, to becoming a Hollywood icon, Sharon faced numerous personal and professional challenges, including family losses, turbulent relationships, and even serious health issues, such as the stroke that nearly ended her career. Despite all these adversities, she managed to rebuild her life and career, maintaining her independence, authenticity, and a sense of purpose that is reflected both in her acting and her personal choices. Sharon Stone is not only a successful actress but also a public figure who has used her visibility to advocate for important causes, such as the fight against HIV/AIDS, women's rights, and philanthropy in general, showing that her influence extends far beyond the screen. Her love life, although often the target of rumors and controversies, demonstrates her ability to learn from difficult experiences and value meaningful relationships, including motherhood and family bonds. Financially, she has been able to capitalize on her career through advertising contracts, fashion campaigns, and television projects, securing not only her stability but also a sophisticated and comfortable lifestyle that reflects her taste for art, culture, and refined experiences. Additionally, her ventures into music and charitable projects reveal a multifaceted personality committed to creative expression and positive social impact. The conclusion, therefore, is not only about a successful career but about an entire life of overcoming challenges, learning, and leaving a legacy. Sharon Stone remains relevant, admired, and respected, showing that it is possible to navigate decades of fame and personal trials with dignity, charm, and authenticity, leaving a lasting mark on popular culture and in the hearts of her fans.